What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I thought I would do a little bit of a Need for Speed review, Need for Speed Payback review here on the channel. So I actually did this back in Need for Speed 2015, and I kind of thought it'd be interesting to like do a review here on Need for Speed Payback and like kind of go over some things that they have improved on, some things they can improve on. You know, I've been playing this game for about a while, about 2 years. So you know, there's a lot that has changed since 2015, and some things that I like to go over. And yeah, let's get into it. So hopefully you all do enjoy, and let's get started. All right, first off, I think we need to discuss the vehicle selection in this game. So as you all know, without a Need for Speed game, it wouldn't be a Need for Speed game without cars, number one. So in this year, this time coming around, I think they have done a pretty good job on the car list. It just offers a lot of diversity and variety of vehicles that you would want to drive around in a game. You kind of have your tuner selection, you have a classic cars, you have your kind of mid-range type of vehicles, and then you have your really high-end hypercars over there, and that is kind of really nice how they kind of put it all together and like divided it off in sections by price. Obviously that's the way to go. So that's really nice. You have some brand new vehicles that were offered in Payback that you didn't get in 2015, like the Porsche 918 Spider. You got I think the McLaren P1 was in the last game. It might have not been, actually. I'm not sure, but but you do have the McLaren P1 nonetheless. You also have the Koenigsegg Regera, which is Regera, excuse me. That was actually the kind of the star car for one of the main missions in the game. So if you have played the game, you will know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, I would make sure you do play it, because that was a pretty good mission. And then you have cars like that, and then you pretty much have the same vehicles from 2015 into Payback, and I think that makes it a lot simpler for you to just like hop on and like play, so people don't complain like, where's this car at, where's that car at, whenever it was in 2015, why can't it be in Payback? So it really makes sense why they just crossover cars into the next game. That really makes sense. You do have like cars like the Subaru BRZ, but you also don't have cars like the Toyota 86 and the Scion FRS. And it makes sense, because this is like pretty much duplicate cars. Like, they're the same exact vehicle, but it does make sense. Like, let's just say someone who hops on actually owns the BRZ, but like someone else who hops on actually owns the 86, and they actually want their own car instead of using the BRZ, which is even though it's pretty much the same vehicle, it totally makes sense, I think, in my personal opinion. But there's that. We also should get into the off-road vehicle side of things. So you do have stuff like the Mercedes G63 AMG, which is a really nice vehicle to offer. I'm so glad they actually brought it into the game. You also have the 2017 Ford Raptor, which racing game is it not in? Literally it's in pretty much, I would say, every racing game. The Ford Raptor, so it's a really nice truck, so you can't really complain when it is in there. So you have that. They also added the Land Rover 110 Defender, and that was one Land Rover Defender 110, excuse me, not Defender 1, never mind, the 110 Defender 110. So they added that as well. Pretty cool. I actually never bought it, but let me know in the comments how good it is, if you did happen to buy it. But you have that, and then they also did have some DLC vehicles, like the Aston Martin DB5, pretty cool classic car, as well as the Pontiac Firebird, like the one from Smokey and the Bandit. Pretty cool vehicle as well. But they also added some other vehicles like the Land Rover Sport SVR. I mean, I honestly would have loved to drive that if it wasn't DLC, as well as the Colorado ZR2. Also would have loved to drive that if it wasn't DLC. And and they did add some other vehicles too. I keep forgetting, man. They also did add some other vehicles too, like the Alfa Romeo Quadrifoglio, Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. Just almost forgot the name there. Giulia Quadrifoglio, just a 4-door Alfa Romeo right there. That's pretty cool. You got the mini Countryman, not the Cooper, Countryman. John Cooper Works Countryman right there. That's pretty cool as well. The only other racing game it's in is Forza, I believe. So that's a kind of a unique car to have. Then you also have the the Infiniti Q60S. I'm not sure if it's the Red Sport 400, but I do know it's the Q60S. Pretty cool car. Again, you don't really see it in a whole lot of other video games other than Forza, but there's that. So you pretty much have all of those vehicles as DLC, and then the rest are pretty much vehicles that you can buy right as you purchase the game. So there's that. But I do think that they could have added free DLC. I don't know where these microtransactions came from. I wish they weren't a thing. I wish that they were kind of like, okay, let's offer free DLC, but it does make sense again why they wouldn't offer like free DLC. You pay to play it. It's kind of like you pay to play, pretty much. In that sort of sense. I know some people don't like the whole microtransaction thing. I'm not a huge fan of it either, but again, it goes to that pay to play thing. And you're paying to have more updates, more kind of like cooler vehicles to drive and more things to do in the game. So that's that. And I gotta say, an overall Need for Speed's car list, the Payback car list anyways, has been pretty good. A lot of vehicles, a lot of variety of vehicles to have and own and drive. And I think they did pretty well on that. So there is that. Alright, so it also wouldn't be Need for Speed if it wasn't for customization. Let's dive into that. So Need for Speed Payback has introduced some brand new customization bits that we haven't seen for quite a while, since I would say maybe the days of Carbon or Underground, or pretty much those days. Like customization ever since I would say kind of Most Wanted or Hot Pursuit 2010 has just gone down. Like there's been no customization, but thankfully, and 2015 has revived that a little bit, but now we are in Payback, and customization is pretty good, and then Need for Speed Heat better than ever. So the customization here in Payback, I gotta say, they did a way better job. Adding some stuff. We got neons now. You got horns. You got air ride suspension. You can add to your vehicle. There's just, and even tire smoke, nitrous color. So there's just a lot you can do. At horns, tire smoke, nitrous color, air ride suspension. There might have been one more I'm missing, but I think that was pretty much it for kind of like the vanity stuff and whatnot. So there's that. But going back into the visual customization aspects of your car, pretty much the same system from 2015. I actually really like that system. Kind of like how you go to a specific part and like you change, you kind of change what you want about it. Like a front bumper, you can go to that, change it, and then swap it out. So I really like that. That part is I think pretty simple for the most part. Anybody can hop on and know exactly what to do and where to go. But one thing I do wish that they did add was the body kit preset option. So like maybe you go on top, maybe you go to an option on top of the car, and like you can pick between the body kits that you did want. Like I think 2015 had that for like a specific car. So maybe like if you wanted a body kit for the R32, you can go up, click the body kit preset button, and you can pretty much swipe through, because I know there was RWB and like another one. So there's that. But I hope that that is something they do add in 2019, which is Need for Speed Heat. I don't know why I'm saying 2019, but I hope that's something they add in Need for Speed Heat, and that would be pretty cool. That's kind of one thing I would like to see added. But other than that, I have no really complaints about this system. You can do headlight tints. You can, and some specific vehicles have it to where you can change the whole headlight. So that's pretty cool. You also have the taillights. So yes, you can change the taillights. You can change the taillights and the tint them black out, like black them out, or pretty much change the taillight to something else. So you have that. You have spoilers, body kits. You can still do body kits, but I wish there was a specific button for like specific option for the presets, instead of having to go through and like finding out, oh, this piece doesn't work and stuff like that. That kind of makes it kind of confusing in a way. But I think other than that, the system is really simple. I think it's very kind of like easy to go to, and easy to go through. So I like it. Visual customization, they do always do an awesome job. Need for Speed is always literally the number one kind of video game for customization. But let's also get into the performance upgrades side of things. So in terms of upgrading your car, yeah, this is the part that people did not like about Need for Speed Payback. I mean, myself, I didn't like this part either. So pretty much you would have to go to a performance shop, which wasn't the part people didn't like. I mean, I personally didn't have a problem with it. But you would have to go to a performance shop, and pretty much how you would upgrade your car is by these little speed cards. Now that's not a big problem. That's not a huge issue. My issue with this game, is that it wouldn't make sense. It just really wouldn't make sense. How the speed cards and stuff like that would work. And sometimes you would actually go to do like a little wheel spin for like these cards and stuff like that, and yeah, it just didn't give you the right part you wanted. So I wish, and sometimes when you would actually try to buy a part, it wouldn't be available. So I do wish that feature is changed, and I actually do think it is. Like I know you can actually upgrade your stuff straight from the garage, so I'm so glad that is back. I think they should have just kept it simple with that part for the for the time being. Like I think that they tried to make it a little bit different, but I know that they went back to the original system, and I'm so glad they did. So that's really nice. That's really cool. And yeah. All right. Up next, I wanted to talk about the bait crates, like the police system in this game, and pretty much it's changed overall, I guess you could say. There's a lot that has happened, but then again, there's a lot of flaws with this system. Going back to Need for Speed 2015, the police system in that game was not that great. I would just say the police in that game were weak. Payback, a lot of people did really like the cops. The cops were more aggressive. The cops were just a lot more brute. There was a lot more force with the cops, and they actually really tried to pull you over as best as they could. And really, their best was really good. I'm not gonna lie. The only issue, pretty much, I have one complaint, just one complaint. you couldn't get them in free roam. Like, that was literally the worst part about this. You really couldn't get the cops in free roam. I don't understand that. You actually had to go and get a bait crate, either that or trigger it by doing a mission. And I mean, honestly, I don't want to do a mission just to get cops. And I know they actually did this with the abandoned cars, pretty much. Like, they were actually pretty. Some of them were actually pretty challenging. I'm not gonna lie. And you had those bait crates, you had those little police shapes, cop chases, and it was pretty interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't like those. I mean, those bait crates, don't get me wrong, they paid well, but I wish they would actually pay a little bit more on your effort and on your time, instead of always $20,000 per crate. While that's cool, I wish you got a little bit more. Like, let's just say you got like 25 or even 50 for the amount of time you spent doing the chase. And I really wish that was the case. But I don't know if these bait crates are gone or not. I'm not sure if they're like returning into heat or not. But at the end of the day, they weren't bad. But I wish, again, I think a lot more people would have liked Need for Speed Payback if there was actually free roam cops. Not that people didn't like Need for Speed Payback already. Alright, so I think we need to talk about this one here, and that is the online multiplayer sort of side of things. And I think the Need for Speed kind of didn't do well on this one. The thing is, like, going back to Need for Speed 2015, I think I just always compare that game with this game, but it is the one to compare it with. Need for Speed 2015, going back to that game, it was pretty much an all online game. And, if you didn't have online, well, you couldn't play it. And then with Need for Speed Payback, they actually decided to, switch it up, and say, like, alright, we're going to add it to where it is online, and you have online, and then you also have offline in a way. So, like, you have it where, like, okay, you can play offline all the time if you wanted to, but you can also play online if you choose to. Let's just say you don't have PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live, or you don't have internet of some sort. You can't really play online. So you can always play offline. Or if you really want to play online, you have all of those three services, or you have one of the two, pretty much, PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live. You can play online. Later on in Need for Speed, there was actually an update in order to add online multiplayer free roam. So Need for Speed already did have online, which was like speedless and stuff like that, and that's the only way that you could actually play online with people and kind of have a good time with them and your friends and whatnot. On Need for Speed was to pretty much do speedless, and I feel like not a whole lot of people wanted to do that. Like, I would just rather hang out, drive around with friends, instead of like going to a speedless. I mean, it just didn't make sense in a way, and I don't really like the way they did that and planned that whole thing out. It didn't really fit. But I mean, now there is an online free roam. They did add that in an update, and now it's available for people to play and stuff like that. So it's changed in a way, and I'm so glad they actually took the time to do that. That's great. Online free roam, instead of joining the speed list and stuff like that. Now you can choose to do the speed list if you really want to, but you don't have to, again, if you don't want to. So that's really nice. They actually give you the choice to do speed list, and obviously you just go straight to online free roam like everybody else wants to do. And I know for a fact that Need for Speed Heat will have online free roam, so that's something that I know a lot of people are going to be really happy about. And that is pretty much the online aspect of things. I really think that they could have done a better job on that part, just because, like, not having a game with online free roam, like, out of the box, I feel like nowadays that is not, like, it's not really that great. I mean, just a lot of these games like have online free roam straight out of the box, like The Crew 2. It's only online. Like, you have to have PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live, or internet. You have to have internet in one of the two, just to be able to play, The Crew, The Crew 2. And like, I don't know, it just didn't really make sense to me why it was only speedless in a way. But then again, they fixed it, and but it was kind of late, I will say. It did take a while for them to add did take a while for them to add online free roam into the game, and not just make it only about speedless. So there's that. And online, I gotta say, it did work out for the most part. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You can interact with people, have a good time, and I think that's just what people wanted from the beginning. So there's the online aspect of Need for Speed Payback. Alright, I think that's going to be doing it for this review on Need for Speed Payback. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the overall on the game. My personal thoughts, I think that Need for Speed Payback was definitely a step up from the 2015. It offered a whole lot, a lot of things that really changed the game, the whole Need for Speed game, title in a way, and it brought a lot of new things. Brought a lot of new things from Need for Speed 2015 that game didn't have, like such as neons, even more customization in a way. And like this game, it really has again brought a lot, but it also has taken a step back in a way. And I think overall they did a good job on Need for Speed Payback. The story I thought was pretty, I thought was good. I thought the story was pretty good for the most part. I didn't really have, it did sound a little cheesy, but I think it was a little bit better than everybody fist bumping each other, than the main character just fist bumping each other. Just every time you see somebody, like in Need for Speed 2015, I thought that was kind of weird. How they didn't make the characters interact with each other. Like, you actually have interaction with the characters in this one. So, and I know that in Heat, Need for Speed Heat, there will be some character interaction as well. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think down below of your thoughts. Again, I thought they did pretty well on this game overall, and I know that Need for Speed Heat will be even better. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you all have enjoyed. If you guys did and you'd like to see more, you guys know what to do. Drop that like button as well. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next episode.